Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
It is great to be with you.
It's great to be back. I haven't been here in a hot minute. I've been away. I've been in Kentucky. I've been in Nashville. Been in a lot of locations, none of them here sitting next to you. I guess I kind of was near the state of North Carolina last week-ish, closer than I have been in a while. In the state of North Carolina, one of the locations of major news happening, Steve Jones, as last night, UNC officially fired Coach Hubert Davis, their men's basketball coach, after a week of will they, won't they let him go, which was going on, which, truthfully, before we get to like the actual, like, he's fired, what happens next stuff, it was handled so poorly. Where it was like, he basically was like, if I have the ability to, I want to continue. And for a week they would meet, and it kept getting out there like, he'll come back, but maybe they won't let him back. And it was just this week of like, make a decision. And in that week, Syracuse hired Jerry McNamara as head coach. So I'm happy again. So Steve Jones, Hubert Davis, gone from UNC. Florida apparently has put an offer on the table to Todd Golden for another extension, which would take him out of the running. Right. Brad Stevens was put into the pool of candidates, and he, of course, was like, I'm good in Boston. We have a great team and a great organization, and I don't want to coach college basketball again. So he is staying in Boston. What next for the Tar Heels in one of the most recognized franchises in collegiate sports?
When it comes to these coaching searches, there is a level of stupidity to it that is just beyond the pale.
Yeah.
As soon as an opening happens, Brad Stevens' name comes up. Jay Wright's name comes up. Neither one of them wants to coach college basketball anymore. Neither one of them wants to coach anymore.
Nope.
They're happy. Why do you put their names out there? I don't understand why their names are out there. I've never figured that out. It takes probably 5 minutes to find out that they don't want to do it anymore. Right? And again, have I, in the last 5 years, have I talked to both those guys? Yes, I have. Right? You can tell they're happy with what they're doing. Right? It's like they're not, there's not this pining to get back into the college game. There's not this pining to get into the NIL world. There's not this pining to get a pro job and like work with NBA guys where which involves the entourages and everything like that. Right? Like, Stevens is in the GM part. He doesn't want to coach it.
No.
Right?
He's got like the best gig possible.
Jay Wright doesn't want to coach.
No.
Like, for goodness sakes. But their names always come up. Like, you can't, I don't get it.
I don't either.
Like, it's North Carolina. They'll come back for that. No, they won't.
No.
That's okay. One guy had Villanova. Did great. He's now got a great job at Villanova.
Yeah.
He enjoys it. Right? The other guy's with the Boston Celtics. North Carolina basketball, Celtics.
Not just Celtics, though. Celtics president.
Yes.
The president of it. He gets to do everything. He doesn't have to coach. He gets to be there and make sure and put the team in the best place to win. And spoiler, they're one of the favorites to win the title now, and they've been playing well all season. Now they've got a somewhat slowly getting healthier Jason Tatum. Like, he's not leaving that for this. Does he want to go there and be like, yeah, me and Bill Belichick, ride or die, coaches. What could go wrong going from the pros back to college right now? What could go wrong, Steve Jones? Bill Belichick did so well in his first season, right? He went 13-0, won a title, correct?
But again,
that's what people think, at least.
But again, the athletic director did not make the choice.
No.
So how this went down with Hubert Davis, I don't know, but they made him twist in the wind for days. You knew that there was an issue when his radio show was canceled this week.
That was like Monday it was canceled.
You knew there was an issue when there was all the individual player meetings were canceled this week. All right, so you're like, okay, they're serious about this.
But that's the thing is, we knew it was happening, but it was just never. It took like an extra 3 days to get there. So, whatever.
But the bottom line is they've done it.
Yes.
Now the question is, how do they fill it?
And I have a list of candidates for you based on what is rumored, reported.
Well, get to the list of candidates in a second. It is just hiring a North Carolina person doesn't always work that way. The successful coaches there have been obviously Dean Smith, but he was a Kansas guy. Okay, Dean Smith, 4th year at North Carolina, 4th year. Right, they lost a game, I believe it was at Wake Forest. He's hanging in effigy off a tree, right, outside of Carmichael Auditorium. Right, this is how riled up. I mean, you're talking about the '60s here, right, late '60s. When Dean Smith retired, Bill Guthridge comes in. Bill Guthridge, Penn State went after Bill Guthridge at one point. And longtime assistant. And Bill Guthridge had a couple really good years there, but Bill Guthridge at this point was also older. So, so then he brought in Matt Doherty. And when Penn State knocked off North Carolina in the NCAA tournament, look, he had Julius Peppers. He had the ACC Player of the Year, Joseph Forte, and the whole deal. They were like, they were a 2 seed and the whole thing. Penn State knocked them off. Well, he didn't hang around long. And he brought in May. He brought in Felton. Who was the really good shooter? Played in the NBA.
For Carolina.
Off the top of my head. But their first game at North Carolina was Penn State. It was down at the Dean Dome. Did the game. You're like, okay, these guys are really good. Well, they didn't finish their careers with Matt Doherty. They finished their careers with Roy Williams. Where was Roy Williams from? He was from the coaching tree of Dean Smith. Right? Matt Doherty had been the head coach at Notre Dame. Former Carolina player comes back home. It didn't work. Just because you're a former Carolina player doesn't mean it works. Hubert Davis was on Roy Williams' staff, I believe, for 9 years. So it would be unfair for anybody to say that he took Roy Williams' talent and got to the national championship game, because when you're on the staff for 9 years, you had a lot to do with acquiring the talent that got you to the national championship game in your first year. But after that, in an NIL changing world, and North Carolina has NIL basketball money. How much NIL football money they have, I could debate. I don't know. But they have basketball money behind them. But just because you're paying 8 figures doesn't mean it equates to the success you want. I'll give you an example. To my knowledge, there are 6 programs in the Big Ten that are playing 8 figures. People can assume which ones they are. You're not going to be right.
No.
You'll get half of them. You'll get half of them. Of the 6, 3 of the 6 did not make the NCAA tournament.
Which if you said that out loud to someone, they'd be like, what? But then you look at it and you're like, that's not great.
3 of the 6 did not make the NCAA tournament that are 8-figure NIL. And when I mean 8 figures, and I've talked about this with Penn State basketball, and I talked to Pat Kraft about this yesterday. Right? After Pat did this, I go, you okay? He says, that Jerry Valeri guy isn't there. No, he's not here. I said, Pat, when I talk about you need to invest to your expectations, I said, I'm not talking about internal. I said, you have a cap on the money you have. I'm talking it's whatever you get the internal number and add on
to get to whatever number you want.
To get whatever number you need. So say you want to go, let's I think it's on the line that's $3 million. Say, for example, let's kick it to $4 million this year. You're going to get a little, between, okay. Can you get an additional $4 to $5 million to now get you to 8 to 9, which gets you right about the average number in the Big Ten. Right? So now North Carolina is without question one of those 8-figure NIL programs. Yes, they had Caleb Wilson. Now, losing him was a huge loss. No question about oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. To the 10, 15% out there that are very opinionated, injuries are an excuse. So we'll just we'll put that. It's an excuse.
The best player got hurt.
Right? It's an excuse. No, it's a reality. Right? There's which player in that team replaces Caleb Wilson? Nobody.
Nope.
And Wilson, to his credit, a terrific player. Losing him was a blow. But they didn't have enough around him. And there's a couple freshmen on that team, one that they were relying on in the tournament that, to be frank with you, played a lousy game against VCU. I mean, a guy that they like, we really need you to step up, and he didn't.
The UNC team as a whole.
He started, and he didn't step. I'm not going to get into the names.
Yeah, but they underwhelmed in general.
Right. I mean, you have a 19-point lead, you lose it. Right. You were in the first 4.
Yeah.
North Carolina in the first 4. Right. Like, okay, so like when the ACC is down, which was a year ago, what'd they get in? 3 teams? 4 teams?
3, I believe.
3 teams. They're the third team. They're a first 4 team. So in a year where the ACC is considered to be a down group, you barely sneak in. Right? Yeah. Now this happens, and that's their expectation because their financial investment did not meet their expectation this year, and he was let go. Now, names.
Well, before we get to names, I can talk about this, and I'm just gonna.
Well, I can't.
I know.
I can't say a word about it.
You can't say a word about it, but I will at least point out the fact that like when a coach is let go, it happens quite a bit. You see it throughout football. We got to see it firsthand when, of course, Franklin was let go in October, and then Campbell comes in. People decommit from Penn State, they decommit from Iowa State, and things change around.
Sure.
And of course, Penn State fans out there, I will talk about this part, which is the name of Dylan Mingo has come up because what happens? Did he want to go play North Carolina for Hubert Davis, or was it an NIL purpose? I don't know. We're not going to speculate on that, but what we will say is, can he open his recruitment up again? I believe he is allowed to. He has not officially signed, I don't think. So
that means he can absolutely means he can open it up.
So I'll put that out there in general. And the question is, who would he play for if he goes to North Carolina? The names, Steve Jones, that are coming on up. Number 1, Billy Donovan is at the top of the list, apparently. The Bulls head coach who hasn't coached in college since 2015. Of course, led Florida to 2 additional Final Fours and 2 national championships. So he is the first hot name out there.
Again, do you want to leave a pro job where, and I don't know what his security number is with he's with the Bulls, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what his security is with the Bulls. I have no idea what his contract is. But do you want to leave a pro job to go to a college job where, and it's not just the NIL part. It's not that. When I'm sitting there with a roster in the NBA, you have a contract, you have a contract, you have a contract. I may make a deal here or there, or eventually your contract runs out. The transfer portal part, which can make you good quicker, also is a revolving door every single year about roster development. And that's for a pro coach, that could potentially be a turnoff, as opposed to having at least more stability, which is the pro model.
At the same time, though, the Bulls notoriously have not been good basically since Derrick Rose got injured.
Right.
It has been a roller coaster, and maybe it's something where he's like, you know what, I kind of want off this ride. So that is a name that has been brought up and has been talked about. Their last game of the season is, I know.
College sports has dramatically changed since Billy Donovan left.
It's been a decade.
It would be it would be more of an adjustment than people realize. Well, he's coaching in the pros, so he's not coaching pros. No, it's a different system. If you had a collective bargaining agreement, I think it then changes your coaching mindset as to whether you want to coach in college or coach in the pros.
And speaking of the collegiate side of things, some names that have come up as the possibilities to jump to North Carolina. I'll run through the names real fast, and then we'll kind of go from there. I'll give you some numbers as well. So some of the names that have been talked about that might be on the short list for North Carolina for them to try and get would be someone, let's start with Arizona's Tommy Lloyd, who has a buyout between $9 and $12 million, depending on timing. You've got Dusty May at Michigan. That would cost quite a bit, around $7 million as well. Iowa State's TJ Otzelberger's number is around $4 million on the low end of all of these people. Todd Golden, of course, who Florida's trying to retain, is around $16 million right now. That may go up way higher in a minute. Alabama's Nate Oates, his buyout is somewhere around $18 million until April 1st when it goes to $10. And then Grant McCasland as well, whose buyout is around the $10 to $12 million range. So those are the names that have been thrown out there alongside a like of a Dan Hurley, but that's a different type of discussion with him because he was looked at by Kentucky, and the Los Angeles Lakers turned both down.
What about Red Autry? He's available.
Red Autry is available. Do with that what you will, North Carolina. But these are the names thrown out there. So who would you like to kind of, I guess, I kind of want to start with the cheapest option here, who Penn State poached from the same state a couple times in the past, of course, with Cale Sanderson. And now Matt Campbell with TJ Otzelberger. A $4 million buyout is not a lot of money, especially in this collegiate world where you're paying a lot.
Not for North Carolina basketball.
Not for North Carolina basketball, but if you can save yourself a few million and use that towards NIL, Otzelberger has shown he's a good coach. Iowa State's been a really good program for the last few years, especially. They've been really cranking. Of course, Tyrese Halliburton was there. He played well. They were great then. Taman Lipsey and co. are playing really well right now. He's an option.
Yeah, he's, first of all, a really good coach.
He is.
He's done a great job at Iowa State. He was a great hire.
And it's the same, I guess, discussion you have with Matt Campbell, where it was like, you give Campbell a bigger program, bigger resources. You like the direction it goes in is the same thing exists for Otzelberger.
And I don't know him at all. Zero. Never been in the same room with him. So it's not like you can sit there and kind of get a read like how happy is the guy here, whatever is, is he a guy looking for the next job? I'm not putting down Buzz Williams when I say this, but you always kind of felt with Buzz there was a shelf life, and then he'd look for the next job. There's a shelf life. He has that pattern in his career. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know him at all. For all I know, he loves living in Ames, Gilbert, whatever. In that area there. I don't know. Or it could be, can I win a national title at Iowa State? Could it, or could it be, hey, look, I've got a better chance of making big money and I can do it at North Carolina? I don't know. I don't know the guy at all. So it's not as if I have any knowledge about how he thinks, how he goes about it, what's his level of happiness, what's his family life like. I have none of that. So, but he would be an intriguing name, one of the first ones you'd talk to. The other guys, like Dusty May's only in his second year at Michigan. Yeah. He's making money. He's got 8-figure NIL, where they can go out and they can get a Mara, they can get a Johnson, they can get a Cadeau, they can get Lindenborg.
Say money is no object. It would basically be would you rather be at Michigan or North Carolina at that point? And if you're him, like, you just, again, as you said, you've just moved there. You've been there for a year and a half, 2 years.
Right. He's been able to pretty much get anybody there he wanted to this point. That's, which is big, where you sit there and, like, I'm not going to be outbid for Lindenborg. Everybody knew Lindenborg was the number one transfer portal guy last year. Everybody knew. To the point where Mark Pope was asked about him in his press conference leading into the NCAA. Because Lindenborg had made some comments about, hey, $7 to $9 million, I want to go to Michigan. Right? So I just can't picture Dusty May leaving.
So let's knock Dusty May out of this.
Right.
We'll knock out Dan Hurley because that's a different type of discussion with him. So we'll skip past
another one that makes no sense.
And I'll skip past also Todd Golden, especially if his contract is going to be re-upped.
He's done.
He's done. Yeah. He's going to stay.
So I don't know where they go, to be honest with you. With Syracuse, it was obvious.
Yeah, it was Jerry McNamara.
Jerry McNamara had been on the staff for a decade and a half with Jim Boeheim.
He's beloved by Syracuse fans.
When he had a head coaching job, and he was on Red Autry's staff the first year.
Yeah.
Right? When the head coaching job came up, he took the Siena job. Well, he gets him into he wins his conference, which was the only way to get in. And then look, we watched him coach a terrific game against Duke. But
they brought Duke down to the wire.
Right.
The number one team, they brought them down to the end of the game.
But to tell you what it's like on that level, he played 5 guys.
Yeah.
Right? That tells you, that's a hard job. And he did a great job at a hard job because with limited resources and limited players, he has enough to win his conference, and he has enough to push Duke, but he can only push Duke with 5 guys. He doesn't have 7.
So now he goes to Syracuse.
But that was an obvious. He comes home. The whole thing. We'll see how it plays out. But he gets to come home.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it. The North Carolina job, they would never get this person. They would never get this person because I think he is on the final job of his career. But my goodness, every time something like this comes up, who can handle that kind of spotlight and thrive in it? Rick Pitino, right? Who can handle that kind of spotlight and thrive on it?
Yeah.
Rick Pitino can. He's done it. Every single spot he's gone to, he has thrived, except for, you can argue, the Boston Celtics. And that was kind of everything with him revolved on the ping pong ball. He was trying to get Tim Duncan. He gets Tim Duncan. He may still be the Celtics coach today. Yeah. But you really can say everywhere else. Boston University, because he coached against Penn State here at BU, and then Penn State tried to. He and Bruce Parkhill were the 2 finalists for the Penn State job. Right? Now fans hear this. They go, "Oh, you didn't." Hey, slow down. Okay. Was Rick Pitino going to stay here? No. And that's why Jim Tarman went the direction he went in with the hire, because he thought Bruce would be here longer. Well, Bruce put 13 years here. Right? And did a great job. I mean, Bruce did a phenomenal job. But Pitino, everywhere he's gone, he goes to BU, successful.
NCAA tournament.
After the Knicks, he goes to Kentucky, successful.
He also had a stint at Providence where they made the Final Four.
His Providence team with Billy Donovan, ironically, the PC5 is what they were called, the PC5. 87 makes the Final Four. Billy Donovan, who, when he got there, he was like, I don't know about this guy. And Billy Donovan worked his backside off to make himself into a really terrific college player. Great and again, who was the first guy as a coach that understood the value of the three-point shot? 1987, Rick Pitino in Providence. He goes, this is the shot that can win us some games. Yeah. Now, you're not thinking I'm going to get to the Final Four. He then takes that and goes to Kentucky. The Kentucky team that lost to Duke on the Leitner shot, I saw in person because we were in the Kuppenheimer Classic, a doubleheader at the Old Omni, right, which is now Phillips Arena. And Penn State played Georgia, and Georgia Tech played Kentucky. The Georgia Tech-Kentucky game was the first game. Right? And so I got to see that team, Jamal Mashburn, Ricky Farmer, those guys, right? And they played hard for him. And I sat right next to the bench because our broadcast location, because that was going to be the Penn State bench in the second game. So I got the chance to watch this guy firsthand coach for the first time. Well, because I'd done the BU games. I did the BU game in Rec Hall when he coached. Okay, so but I mean, that's the kind of guy. And I know he's older now, the whole deal. But that's the kind of guy that can handle the Carolina spotlight. Where if I'm going to sit there and I'm sitting in a room and say, hey, if we're going to throw money at a coach, hey, 5-year contract, let's throw the money in him, we'll win. I mean, he'd be the guy. Yeah. He'd be the guy I would look at and say, hey, how about him? Because I don't think you can get John Calipari to come over from Arkansas.
The question is literally just, does he want to come? If you're Pitino,
Hey, look, he's a New Yorker.
Yeah.
He's
New Yorker. He's at
St. John's. And not only is it St. John's, he's got a money man behind him at St. John's. And I mean this as a compliment.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's today's world. You need this kind of guy. Like we talk about double legal energy with Texas Tech. You brought up McCaslin. Right? Okay. Well, he has a money guy at St. John's. He's not going to leave where he already has that, and he's in a league which is considered to be Power 5, only got 3 bids, but you can steamroll that league, and you really only have to beat UConn. Maybe you got to beat Villanova.
Yeah, you steamroll the league, you make the tournament automatically. It's just how high can you get?
Right.
Because St. John's, if they do what they do every year, and they play this well, it's you, it's UConn, and it's maybe someone else. Whether that's, for 1 year, it's a Marquette, or whomever else comes along. Like, you're kind of okay.
Yep.
And so that's a piece of it. I'm really intrigued by Otzelberger, and I think Tommy Lloyd.
Lloyd, I don't see Lloyd leaving Arizona.
I don't see him leaving, but that's the thing is
look, Lloyd leaves Gonzaga after being a top assistant, and many of the foreign players that went to Gonzaga, Tommy Lloyd was one of the lead guys on a lot of that for Mark Few. Goes to Arizona and immediately gets out of the gate, and he's playing great ball.
Yeah.
He's in a great conference in the Big 12. He is the best team in the Big 12. When you have an established program, because Tommy Lloyd now has established.
And Arizona's been an established program in the past.
But now he has established his mark. Right? Lute Olson, whom I had the privilege of having on this show when I was way back when. Right? Sean Miller did his deal. I know that, whatever outside issues, he survived it up to a point. But Lloyd has come in. It's his total imprint on the program. And not only that, with all the Chapel Hill's beautiful. I don't know if you've been there or not.
I have.
It's gorgeous. But Tucson's great. Yeah. Right? Gets a little hot in the summertime, but I mean, you live up in the hills there. Right? It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, up in the Ventana Canyon area. Oh yeah. I mean, I just, when you've already got something going, because he stayed in as assistant at Gonzaga for a long time.
And then he got a great job in Arizona and took it and ran with it.
When I see somebody spend a long period of time someplace and then they take something else, my thought process is they're the kind of person that stays a long time. See, Matt Campbell stayed at Iowa State 10 years. I don't see Matt Campbell jumping to the next job here because he wrestled leaving Toledo to go to Iowa State because he likes being. Some guys are like that. Again, I've never been around Tommy Lloyd. I don't know. I'm just looking at his employment record, and when you stay places periods of time, instead of, and I brought up Buzz, and it's not to put down Buzz, but he's got a pattern. Okay. And so I don't picture that one either. I mean, I know they'll throw a ton of money at him, but Arizona's not dirt poor when it comes to basketball.
And that means the last 2 names we haven't discussed that we brought up.
Kansas could be open too.
Kansas could be open too. There's rumors about Bill Self, so that's another piece of it. The other 2 names,
and the reason I bring up Kansas could be open is that's Tommy Lloyd's conference. So does it now remove slightly a contender?
Yes.
Okay, I see what I'm saying. I'm talking about dominoes here.
And the last 2 names we haven't fully discussed and talked about, Nate Oates and Grant McCaslin, they're the 2 that have been brought up in the conversation. I like Grant McCaslin as a coach. I think he'd be, to me at least, a little more intriguing than Nate Oates would be. I don't know if I'm crazy for saying that.
Okay. So let's get to McCaslin. Again, at Texas Tech, the issue is not money.
Yeah.
I keep going back to the Twins, double legal energy. Look, they can kind of get anybody there they want.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, because they're not, again, they're an 8-figure NIL program already.
JT Toppin didn't cost $2.
Right. And what was the other name again?
Grant McCaslin and Nate Oates.
Nate Oates did a great job at Buffalo, has done a great job at Alabama. They've gone to the Final Four. And he has incorporated the modern game. I remember they come into the Jordan Center.
Mm-hmm.
He's got an NBA guy in his team, first round pick. Okay. And I remember exactly. Now, this is early in his tenure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I said, let's bottom line what you're going to see from Alabama today, Dick. I said, he wants three things. He wants layups, free throws, and threes.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want mid-range twos, right? I mean, that was the Scott. That was one of those where I took the lead on the scouting report to set Dick up to talk about it, and that's how he plays. Nothing's changed since I did that scouting report when they came in and played here in 1920. I think it was 2019 they came in here, and played Penn State. And Penn State won the game, but it was a terrific game between the two. And Penn State with Lamar Stevens and those guys won the game. But that's how he wants to play. Is that how North Carolina wants to play? I mean, what do you want to do? Now, they also have a side issue at North Carolina. The side issue, two side issues. Number one, new athletic director coming in. Bubba Cunningham will be exiting on June 30th. New AD comes in who's going to be, a part of this process. But the other issue they have down there is what do you do with the Dean Dome? The Dean Dome, for those who are not initiated, first of all, I think it's a fabulous building. I mean, I've done a game in there, like this place is, it's big league. It's big league in most respects. It doesn't have a lot of luxury boxes and things like that, and they don't know what to do with it.
And a lot of players and a lot of fans and a lot of alums have basically all said, "Don't do anything to it." But
so
there's always a chance,
right? Well, no, okay. You could renovate it, which, for example, Little John Coliseum, which is not in the same realm as the Dean Dome, but I'm using this as a reference. Little John Coliseum, they did a renovation, and when Penn State went down to play them during the renovation, they played at the Anderson Civic Center in Anderson, South Carolina, which was just a rectangle with bleachers around it. Okay, while they then I've done a game in the renovated Little John. They did a really nice job with it. North Carolina would have to either go back to Carmichael and play temporarily, but it doesn't have as many seats, right? And so you've got to make a decision there, or do you keep playing in that building and build the new one in a separate area? And there's land. For example, North Carolina State played in the center of campus at Reynolds Coliseum, and I did a game there. They now play. They built a separate building, so they kept playing at Reynolds. The new building is right next to the football stadium, but that is essentially that's off campus. And where Carter Finley Stadium is, and then the basketball arena. It's smart because they can share parking and things like that. So that part's smart. But those are the decisions they have to make on that building. As you're seeing with Penn State, they could have decked that. They could have played in Beaver Stadium and built an entire new stadium. Right? But it would have cost between $1.4 and probably $2 billion. So let's lowball it and highball. It could have been between 1.2 and $2 billion
to build a brand new stadium.
Right? And the 1.2 is a low number because it's now 2026. Everything goes up in price. So they opted to go for the $700 million renovation option, where about $200 to $300 million of it is actually back maintenance that needed to be done. All the maintenance has been done in Beaver Stadium for years was to make sure it was up to code, which means it was safe but up to code. This renovation is like we're really going to fix everything in it. It's not just winterization. We're going to fix it. But that price tag, you see the price tag of the Northwestern Stadium. You did that one? Yeah. You saw it, right? It's not done yet.
Nope.
But it's $850 million for a 35,000-seat stadium. That's a 35,000-seat stadium, right? $850 million. And so they've got to make a decision what to do with the Dean Dome on top of what they want to do with the basketball program moving forward.
Yeah.
So they've got multiple decisions with the basketball program on the table, starting with the coach, and then what do you do with the future of the Dean Dome? Do you renovate it, reduce some seating in there while putting in luxury boxes, or you build something brand new? There's an emotional attachment to it, which, to its credit, fans have developed an emotional attachment to it after being in Carmichael all those years.
Yeah.
Hey, so they've got multiple decisions to make. And again, they're not getting a lot of help from the football program right now. And on a couple fronts, A, winning, and B, you don't get a lot of financial help on the media rights side of it because you're in the ACC.
Yeah.
So North Carolina has a list of things they have to take care of, starting with who's going to be the coach.
Yes.
That's the number one priority.
Yeah. And Steve Jones, speaking of media rights deals, as we've discussed, the NBA's media rights deal is really nice, and it looks like owners are going to get even more money in the coming future, as it was officially approved today. The NBA Board of Governors officially voted, and they're going to start the opening of bids for exclusively Las Vegas and Seattle expansion teams. The number being reported per Shams Charania is expected to generate offers in the $7 to $10 billion range, with the target of being the 28-29 season for two expansion franchises to start playing. But the NBA is also open the door in case they can't get a bid now. They can open it back up in 2 years. So let's say one team is added on in, they can add a second one in the future as well. So Steve Jones.
So let's start with the $7 to $10 billion range.
Yes. Woof.
The Boston Celtics were sold for $6.8 billion. Not that long ago.
Yeah. The valuation, I believe, was somewhere around the 10. Like they sold for 6.8, but it wasn't the full 100% team.
The Lakers were sold for 10.
Sold for 10, a valuation of 12, I think.
So you're talking about the two platinum franchises in the NBA, two of the platinum franchises. Like Oklahoma City may be the defending champion. They are not a platinum franchise. Okay.
Yeah.
The Lakers are, the Celtics are. I know they haven't won a championship since '73, but the Knicks are. There's certain ones. The Sixers are close. The Bulls to a point. I mean, the Bulls' relevancy's fallen off the map because it's not the '90s any longer. But they still play in the biggest building in the league. That is the biggest building in the league, the United Center. So you are now asking for $7 to $10 billion for what will be the two worst teams in the NBA when they enter.
And
that to me is they'll get the money, but that is an issue.
Yeah.
Right? Because who can bid on those teams? Which groups can? So let's start with this one. An assumption has been made the entire time, and I've been among them, that the Fenway Group would make a bid for Las Vegas because one of the minority owners in the Fenway Group, I think he has 1%, is LeBron James.
Yep. And he has said he wants to own a franchise at some point, and he's said that he wants the team to be in Vegas.
Not last week. They asked him about it. He said no. Doesn't want to do it. They asked him last week about it. And when he was asked last week, he surprised everybody and said no. Fenway Sports Group owns the Red Sox. They own Liverpool. They own Roush Fenway Racing. They just sold the Penguins for $1.7 billion after having them for a brief period of time. They sold them for $1.7 billion. But $7 to $10 billion to be one of the worst franchises in the league is you have to have multiple people come together to do something like that. Even Josh Harris, who buys the Washington Commanders, does not own 100% of the Washington Commanders. Now he also owns the Sixers and he owns the New Jersey Devils.
It's a collective type of thing, like how similarly the Lakers, where it's Mark
Walters,
but he's not the owner. He's just the figurehead for group of them.
He's put a lot of money in.
He has.
As he has with the Dodgers.
But my point is, it's a group of them that own it.
Right, and that's how it's going to have to be. It's well, I mean, and that's not unusual.
Yeah, when you're getting to $7 to $10 billion range, like you're.
But for example, the Roonies. The Roonies, okay, they're like 21, 22 owners of the Steelers. Hey, the guy who owns Carolina, Tepper, had been with the Steelers for David Tepper for a long period of time. Then he finally bought Carolina. So you need to have people come to the front, and Seattle will be. Those people have been. I mean, I was just there, for goodness sakes. They're aching for it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question you're aching for it. You've got the world champion Seahawks. You've got the Mariners who made the ALCS and got to Game 7 last year. That's exciting. The Kraken, they love the Kraken up there, right? The arena's been redone.
I would say Climate Pledge Arena is what I was going to bring up as a main starting point, which is currently slated as an 18-ish thousand seat capacity, which is the right number for an NBA team. It's just been renovated and was set for the Seattle Storm back in 2018. Then, of course, the Kraken move in when they join the NHL. So it's a big arena. It's already built, which is really nice because it means you don't got to build your own new one.
Right.
And the same with Vegas, where they technically have T-Mobile, which is where the Aces are, but it is a smaller arena, I believe.
It's not that much smaller. I'd say it's like 16 to 17,000 for basketball.
It is 20,000, so it's bigger than I thought for the Knights and for the
NBA.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I've seen T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen it. I mean, obviously, I won't do it.
No, that's just where the Vegas Golden Knights play. It is not where.
Yeah, that's the only one that plays there.
Yeah.
No, the Aces do not play there. They play in a much smaller arena.
Right, mixed up. I forgot how they were the same for some reason.
No. See, that's the thing about the WNBA, and they're smart about it.
Yeah, small arena.
They play in smaller places. Like, for example, the Atlanta Dream. Do you think they play in Phillips Arena? No, they play in the G League Arena. Okay, like that's not a put down. That's just smart business on their part.
Yeah.
So now, okay, here's Las Vegas now. Las Vegas is actually not a big market.
No.
It is.
It's like 30s somewhere.
Maybe even be in the 40s, low 40s, something like that. It's grown over time. It doesn't have a big metro area. And what has happened is with the advent of gambling in almost, I'd say, in 2/3 of the states in this country, it's not as much of a destination place as it was 10 years ago before the Supreme Court ruled on the Jersey case.
Because now you can be in, let's say,
I can sit there. I can
sit on your phone.
I can sit there in Des Plaines, Illinois, at the Courtyard, right, which we've stayed at, right, and we can walk over to Rivers Casino if we want to get a steak, or we want to go to Sportsbook, if we want to go there. There's places like that all over America.
Yeah, there are sportsbooks everywhere. There are casinos everywhere. And heck, you literally have a sportsbook on your phone.
On your phone. You know, sportsbook on your phone or a gambling casino. I remember being in Albuquerque. Everybody's like, hey, let's, I didn't go, but they said, let's go to the casino. I'm like going, okay. It's like they go out to whatever, and they go out there, they come back, everybody lost. But, I mean, they're everywhere. Tourism is actually slightly down. Well, not even slightly. It's actually down in Las Vegas over the last 2-3 years. The Raiders are already there. It's the NFL, and the Raiders draw a lot from Los Angeles. They do. And for whatever reason, they connected in the Los Angeles area, in part because I think they were successful. They won a Super Bowl when they were there. The Knights are there, but the NHL was smart with what they did. They crafted an expansion draft that gave them a chance right away, which then meant they had a chance to do what? Draw fans.
Yes.
Right? The NBA is going to have to be smart about this, because I think a losing Las Vegas team that has no chance will be fine the first 2 years, and then in year 3, you're going to have some doubts about it. Seattle won't be like that.
No.
Right? They won't. It's a much, much bigger market, Seattle. But you're talking $7 to $10 billion.
And how an expansion draft works for those at home. It has not happened since 2004 when the Bobcats, or the now Hornets, came on into Charlotte. How it worked then is you're allowed to protect up to 8 players under contract for the next season. and then you
only lose one.
And you had to, at minimum, have at least one player unprotected. So you're required to have one.
Yeah.
So if you had 8 players under contract, one must be forced open hastily to allow.
You lose one guy.
Yes, you lose one guy.
And
so that is the most recent rules, but that may change.
They need to take a look at what the Kraken were not great, but in year 2 made the playoffs.
They did.
Right? The Golden Knights,
they came in red
hot. The Stanley Cup final right away.
It was incredible.
Then they won the Stanley Cup. Like, okay. Right. So the NHL gave their expansion franchises a chance. The NBA is going to have to take a long, hard look at their expansion rules, not because Seattle needs a chance, but because Las Vegas needs a chance. Because of the 4 franchises that would be there, the one that is going to, in my opinion, struggle the most will be the A's.
Oh, yeah.
The A's will struggle.
Absolutely, they will. Firstly, they're the Athletics, which we'll get to baseball in a little bit because it is also the MLB opening day today.
Yes, and we get to see something for the 19th consecutive year. It'll be the 19th straight season that the San Francisco Giants have started somebody different in left field.
So, the point
you
of the
had
A's,
no idea I was going to tell you that.
No idea where we were going there. But I love the fun facts, Steve Jones. Well done. And they used to play right across the bay from the A's, who were in Oakland. Of course, the A's haven't been a great franchise for a very long time. And then you add in, they're moving to a new place with, I think Vegas is smaller than Oakland. Is that fair? Is that a fair guesstimation?
Probably right, but it's
probably right.
But no offense, it's a better area.
Better area, but they're moving, having to reestablish fans. Yeah. The A's fans, rightfully, still pissed. Like,
I just don't know.
It's going to be rough.
It'll be domed because you have to. It gets to over 100 in Las Vegas in the summertime. So there'll be people who want to get out of the heat, taking a ball game. And it's going to be, to me, a lot like being in Tampa.
Yeah.
Because being in Tampa, you draw a lot of the opposing team's fans to come to see the opposing team play. Vegas may very much be like that. Hey, I'm from out of town. Hey, it turns out, I decided to take a weekend in Las Vegas, and I'm from Massachusetts, and the Red Sox are playing. Let's go to the game. Right? And they're not sitting there wearing Las Vegas A's, hey, right? But again, that's the competition they will face. They've had great summer league there. But NBA Cup games have not drawn well there. NBA Cup games, which are actually regular season games, have not drawn well in Las Vegas.
The only time it drew well was when the Lakers played in it, and that's because it's the Lakers, and that's a different discussion. Because again, as we've said, Vegas and LA, not a far flight.
5 hours. No, it's driving. It's only 5 hours apart.
It's a 5-hour drive, a quick flight.
You can drive 5-6 hours and you're in Las Vegas from suburban LA. And this is what they face. Again, you are being asked to come up with $7 to $10 billion for an expansion franchise, which is more money that was paid for the Boston Celtics. The Phoenix Suns, when Matt Ishbia bought the Suns, he bought them for $4.2 billion. It's like, whoa, how about that? Celtics got sold for 6.8. The Lakers got sold for 10. When 2 of your marquee franchises sell for 7 to 10 billion, and they're your marquee established bedrock franchises sell for 7 to 10, you're telling me that there'll be people that will bid for it, but that's a lot of money to pay for a lot of years of losing.
Yeah, and it is. Of course, how it works with the draft is a different discussion because what happened in 95 with the draft is Vancouver, the Grizzlies, got the 6th pick. Toronto got the 7th pick. Charlotte in 04.
Brian Big Country Reeves.
Yes.
Right? And the head coach was Brian Hill, my old friend.
Very nice.
Brian was an assistant coach here at Penn State for 3 years, and he was the first head coach of the Vancouver Grizzlies.
And speaking of head coaches, before we get to the MLB opening day, Steve Jones, it looks like LSU is trying to get the McNeese State AD Heath Schroyer in a deputy/senior athletic director role to specifically oversee men's basketball. That is a big major point because LSU and head coach Matt McMahon, the future's unclear because LSU apparently wants to bring back none other than Will Wade. Where was Will Wade last season? McNeese State.
No, a year ago. This year is at NC State.
The year prior, he was at McNeese. Right. So the connection there. But as we hinted at, today is MLB opening day.
Yeah.
The odds right now for the World Series, which we will get into and kind of start there.
The Dodgers are not on the board.
That's so crazy. The Dodgers are somehow the favorite to win the MLB the MLB World Series.
But
that's crazy. You'd think, adding like Edwin Diaz, a great closer, and Kyle Tucker, a great outfielder. But who would have thought that would have helped their odds, Steve Jones?
But I'll give a little counter argument to that. Last year, the Dodgers won the World Series. Okay. But when you think back about the entirety of how many games they end up playing, 180, let's just say 188 games, 182 games, whatever the number was. Think of all the ups and downs that the Dodgers did have as the season went, because injuries played a role. Their bullpen wasn't really that great. Guys went through slumps. Even in the postseason, they had to fight their way through.
Ohtani didn't bat well. Like
they had to get to the seventh and deciding game of the World Series before they finally won it. Right. So it wasn't as if the Los Angeles Dodgers steamrolled their way through Major League Baseball last year. If you really look at it, they didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, did they end up with a really good record? Yes. Did they end up winning the World Series? Yes. But did they get to the postseason? You're gone in 3 games, you're gone in 4, you're gone in 4. They were just that much better? No, they had to fight their way through it. So when you go through 162 games, it is such a grind. Right? You don't know if you're going to lose a Zach Wheeler for the rest of your season. With an injury, you're like going, really? That's what he has? Like, wow, that's career threatening. You don't know if, for example, what happens if Ohtani does unfortunately get hurt? Okay, it's a hard guy to replace. Tucker is a terrific player, but Tucker is not a superstar player. He doesn't. Tucker does not. For the Dodgers, drew over 4 million last year. They drew over 4 million fans. First time they've ever done that, including Mary Hart every game. That's her sitting behind home plate. Okay, when you look to the right, that's her.
But what happens if Mookie Betts gets hurt?
He did last year.
Yeah.
They lost their shortstop, and because they have a Mookie Betts, he played some shortstop for them, besides playing in right field. And Betts didn't have a great year at the plate.
No.
Diaz can be like this, like most closers. And guess what? Pressure does something, right? Suddenly you're in a spot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pitching for the Mets. Okay, great. And again, Diaz missed a chunk of a season. And the middle relief is okay. They got some career years out of a couple of starters. Does that continue? Does Yamamoto continue to be terrific? What about Sasaki, who they used in the bullpen in the postseason?
And Steve Jones, we'll talk about the full MLB itself tomorrow. We'll really dive into it, because I do want to discuss a lot more of the teams, the numbers, and kind of go through the players.
I already gave you the 19 straight seasons with left fielders with the Giants. I mean, how many numbers you want?
I know. Right? In terms of the odds makers, who they have right now as the favorites, of course, the Dodgers are heavy favorites to win.
Sure.
The 5 teams behind them, that's just what I see right now, is in order: the Yankees, Mariners, Mets, Phillies, Red Sox. We'll discuss them a lot more tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more to discuss there.
Yeah. But again, the length of the season brings with it that marathon feeling where every team, I don't care whether you are the Los Angeles Dodgers or you're the Tampa Bay Rays. You may have different payrolls, but you face a lot of the same challenges,
beaten up and bruised and worn down.
What's your farm system like? Because that farm system may have to bail you out for a couple of games on the old Worcester Boston shuttle. That old Lehigh Valley Philadelphia shuttle. Something where you're going to need the depth of your organization to get you through. And that's the grind of Major League Baseball. Now the other part too is, where the heck can you see it?
MLB TV now is with ESPN, I believe, so they're now there. And then Steve Jones, the MVP piece of it. I'll just kind of list through the names just to get them out there. The odds are for the AL, Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Nick Kurtz from the A's is fifth, apparently.
Kurt's a good player.
Yeah, he is a good player.
I mean, Kurtz hit for the cycle, drove in, what did he drive in one game?
It was
16 runs or something.
That was crazy.
That's a crazy number.
The NL,
the Astros, remember that.
The NL MVP.
He had 4 home runs, 2 doubles.
NL MVP odds, of course, the minus number, the only person here out of any MVP. So Ohtani, then Juan Soto, Ronald Acuna Jr., Fernando Tatis Jr., Francisco Lindor, Corbin Carroll, Cy Young in the AL, Tarek Skubal, Garrett Crochet, Cole Ragans from Kansas City. I may have said his name wrong. Hunter Brown from the Astros and Max Fried. And then in the NL.
And Fried, by the way, is the opening night pitcher for the Yankees.
Garrett Cole did make the roster, but I believe he's on the
15-day IL. See, the key is he's on the 15 and not the 60.
Yeah, not the big one. So that's interesting. In the NL, the Cy Young, the odds-on favorite, Mr. Paul Skeens. Behind him, Yamamoto, Christopher Sanchez, Chris Sale, Zach Wheeler, Logan Webb. But
if the Pirates could finish 500, that would be great.
Yeah. Crazier things have happened, Steve Jones.
Well, no, it's not like they're a hard team to figure out in terms of like how good are their players. To be honest with you, a couple guys, a couple guys, they're pretty good, but like for the most part, they've tried to use some of their young players, but they've also added in some retreads, and it's like they're a hard team to get a. Now they're in a division where you can make a move. I mean, Milwaukee's the standard bearer in that division. The Cardinals, and I'm glad Ollie got a 2-year deal, Ollie Marmol. But the Cardinals have fallen back. They're in a rebuild. The Cubs are pretty good. Cubs are really good.
Yeah.
And the Reds are better, but the Pirates have a chance to maybe be a third-place team this year if things fall into place. They can keep guys healthy. I like the Pirates starting pitching.
Well, they've got, of course,
besides Skeens, but I like their starting
Keller,
pitching.
Bubba Chandler, Braxton Ashcraft, and Carmen Lozniak.
Yeah, I mean, I think their starters are okay.
Connor Griffin is staying down in AAA, I believe, to start the season, so he is not coming up just yet.
If they're playing a contract deal with him, just say, like, you know what? Stop playing stupid games. If the guy is good enough to be in the major league, and I haven't seen him play, so I'm not making a judgment here. But if a guy is good enough,
just bring him up, do it.
Okay, your fans deserve to have him out there. Because you're trying to play a long-term game about the end of his deal as to when his contract runs out. For God's sakes, your fans deserve more respect than that, right? And if you're any good at what you're doing, you'll keep them.
Yeah. And the NL Rookie of the Year odds, he is second for those wondering at home. Nolan McLean, I believe the Mets pitcher, is currently the NL favorite.
He was the starting pitcher in the World Baseball Classic championship game against Venezuela.
Yeah. So it's Nolan McLean, Connor Griffin, J.J. Weatherholt, who we got to see. He played with West Virginia. He came here to Happy Valley at some point to play against Penn State with the Cardinals, Sal Stewart with the Reds, Andrew Painter, and then Bubba Chandler. The AL Rookie of the Year, Kevin McGonigal with the Tigers, Kazuma Okamoto, Carter Jensen, Trey Savage, of course, with the Blue Jays, Munetaka Murakami, and Samuel Basallo. Those are the favorites in each place across the award spectrum. We'll talk more MLB things tomorrow when it is full opening day for everybody, not just Yankees and Giants at 8:05 on Netflix, because don't you love a good Netflix game, Steve Jones?
No, I don't. I'd like to see the game.
Thank you for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, a 7 Mountain Media production. Come back at 11 every weekday for analysis of the latest happening in the sports landscape. From college football to European soccer, Steve and Kyle cover it all on Sports Talk with Steve.